3 electric SUVs on sale in America right now are quiet money pits. 4 of them are the smartest purchases in the entire segment for 2026. Discounts on some models are running close to $7,000, while others are sitting on lots for nearly 3 months unsold. Here's exactly which is which, starting with the one you should walk past first. Number 7 is the Nissan Ariya. The cabin feels quiet, almost premium, and that's exactly what pulls people in. But the charging peak sits around 130 kilowatts, which means a 10 to 80% charge can take 35 to 40 minutes. A Hyundai Ioniq 5 does that same job in about 18. Starting price is close to $40,000 before options, and for that money, you're getting slower charging than nearly everything else on this list. The impact for a buyer is simple: longer stops, more wasted time, less range confidence on any real trip. Verdict: skip it at sticker price. Only touch this one if a dealer is desperate enough to hand you a steep lease. Number 6 is the Rivian R1S, and this is where the story gets sharper. Up to 410 miles of range on paper, real off-road hardware, real towing capacity. Then the golden fact lands. Consumer Reports 2026 reliability data reportedly placed Rivian dead last among 26 brands. Dead last. Starting price sits around the mid $80,000 range, meaning you're paying luxury money for the least reliable brand tracked in the entire industry. Motor Trend drove one on a real road trip and measured around 340 miles, well short of that 410 claim. The impact: if you're commuting to an office, this is an expensive gamble. If you're actually towing or crawling over rocks for a living, it's the only vehicle here built for that job. Verdict: wrong choice for almost everyone, right choice for a very specific buyer. Number 5 is the Toyota BZ, and it almost didn't make this list at all. Starting around $35,000, the long-range trim reaches roughly 314 miles on paper. Then Edmunds actually drove one and recorded 331 miles in the real world, beating its own estimate. That almost never happens with an electric vehicle. So why is it still this low? Charging speed lags behind the competition, and a well-equipped trim creeps close enough to a Model Y that the value argument falls apart. The impact for a buyer: you get a car that quietly overperforms on range but underperforms everywhere else that matters on a road trip. Verdict: solid and honest, but outclassed the moment you compare it side by side with what's coming next. From here forward, we're not talking about vehicles to avoid. We're talking about where the smartest buyers in America are actually putting their money right now. Number 4 is the Chevrolet Equinox EV, and the number that matters here is 319 miles of EPA range on a vehicle starting in the mid $30,000 range. That's range money usually reserved for cars costing $10,000 to $15,000 more. The trade-off is charging speed, capped around 150 kilowatts, noticeably behind the 800-volt systems built into some competitors. The impact for a buyer who charges overnight at home: that gap barely registers. You wake up full every single morning. The impact for a buyer who road trips constantly: you'll feel every extra minute at the charger. Verdict: the strongest budget play on this entire list, built for daily driving, not for chasing sunsets across 3 states. Number 3 is the Kia EV9, and this one solves a problem almost nothing else here even attempts: real 3-row seating in a modern electric platform. Starting around $54,900, it charges 10 to 80% in roughly 20 to 30 minutes and landed on the IIHS list of top safety picks for 2026. Then comes the golden fact. Reporting tied to Consumer Reports has flagged the EV9 for reliability issues touching the battery, the electronics, and the charging hardware, and there's a documented recall involving instrument panel software. The impact: you get the best family packaging in the segment attached to some of the most serious reliability question marks on this entire list. Some regions are seeing $5,000 in customer cash plus 0% financing right now. Verdict: exceptional if you lease it, riskier if you plan to own it for 10 years. Number 2 is the Tesla Model Y, and it earns this spot for one reason that has nothing to do with comfort. Range on the top configuration pushes past 350 miles. An independent charging test recorded 133 miles added in just 15 minutes at a supercharger. That combination of efficiency and network density is still unmatched in this market. The trade-off: a minimalist interior with most functions buried in a touchscreen, ride comfort that trails behind softer competitors, and insurance premiums that run higher in plenty of regions. The impact: if you're a road warrior who values simplicity over ceremony, this wins. If you want a traditional tactile cabin, this was never built for you. Verdict: the best road trip machine on this list, not the most comfortable one. And that leaves one vehicle, the one that combines the fastest mainstream charging, one of the strongest warranties in the industry, and the steepest discounts on the entire American EV market right now. But it's also carrying a reliability question mark serious enough to complicate every part of that story. Which vehicle earns the top spot? And why does the very same car that might be the best deal in the country also be the riskiest long-term bet? That's exactly where we're headed next. We're at number 1, and it's the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Entry trims start around the mid-$30,000 range, and 2026 incentives are reportedly pushing discounts up to $7,000, alongside 0% financing and leases dipping into the $260 a month range in some markets. Range on the long-range rear-wheel drive version reaches up to roughly 318 miles. Charging performance sits at the top of the mainstream segment, 10 to 80% in around 18 minutes under ideal conditions, with independent testing recording 138 miles added in just 15 minutes. Hyundai backs it with a 10-year, 100,000-mile battery and powertrain warranty, one of the strongest commitments in the entire industry. Here's the golden fact that keeps this from being a clean, easy recommendation. The Ioniq 5 has been tied to reliability concerns involving its charging control unit, along with a documented 2026 recall involving an improperly tightened high-voltage battery component. So the single best financial deal in the American EV market this year is also the vehicle carrying the most unresolved question about long-term ownership. That contradiction is the entire story of this segment in 2026. The cars offering the steepest discounts and the fastest charging are frequently the same ones still working through growing pains, while the cars with the most proven reputations are the ones losing ground on price or speed. So here's the question worth sitting with. If a vehicle could save you several $1,000s right now while carrying a documented reliability question mark, would you still take that deal? Or would you rather pay more for fewer surprises down the road? Tell me honestly in the comments which of these 7 would end up in your driveway and which one you'd throw straight onto your own worst 3 list. The smartest purchase in this market in 2026 isn't the loudest badge on the showroom floor. It's whichever vehicle gives you the most real-world value for the actual money leaving your account. Buy with your head, not the badge. And if you don't want to be caught off guard by whatever shakes up this industry next, join us here so you're never the last one to find out.